Today we have a very special guest linking in with a newsroom whose Cup experience is known worldwide. Let's get some insight on Chicago. Here's Jack Griffin, journalist, author, and now also a new NC Sports correspondent. Hi Jack, welcome on board. It's great to have you on NC Sports.
Hey Jero, it's great to be here.
The World Series hits Chicago, and considering the success in New York, what has been the impact on the U.S. media and public? Sailing is getting some real traction now in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, this sailing is so impressive. These machines are incredible with the foiling, the wing sails. It's just a different dimension. And getting it in close to city centers. Of course, in 2013, it was on San Francisco Bay for the entire summer. But getting to New York, getting to Chicago, this is really, really giving a boost to the uptake by the U.S. market.
Now, this is yet another tricky, gusty metropolitan race course where just about anything can happen, and we saw that in New York. And we still got the Kiwis leading the series with Super Burling, but I mean, this is one open playing field.
So yeah, still lots and lots to play for. And remember that every Sunday they're running these double points races. So now with 3 races on both Saturday and Sunday, there's 60 points on Sunday, 30 points on Saturday for all first place finishes. So if anybody could pull off 6 bullets, they could score 90 points in one event. Unlikely, but mathematically possible. So keep your calculators warmed up. This isn't over yet.
And we've seen how mathematically possible can become true at the last Cup. And in fact, on points, the America's Cup 35 has de facto started, in the sense that while the World Series is just a sort of a prelude, these points do count, and we saw how critical they became at AC 34.
Oh, whoa. These points count for a lot. These points can carry all the way through to the America's Cup match. Here's how. The winner of the America's Cup World Series starts the round robins in match racing. They start the round robins with 2 points. The runner-up starts with 1 point. That could be the difference between first and second. It could be the difference between 4th and 5th among the challengers. So a challenger, if there's a tie, the World Series standards will be used as a tiebreak. There are bonus points coming out of the World Series going into the round robin series, and that the winner of the round robin series carries a potential bonus point into the America's Cup match. So what's happening in Chicago this weekend and all the rest of the World Series events, that counts. That's why these guys are so serious about it.
The big foiling revolution is now a phenomenon. Now, perhaps in 2013, we still saw the teams struggling, both with the tech and the sailing. Now, they really seem like they've mastered the art now.
Yeah, well, you know, on the boats that they're sailing now, that they're racing now, the AC-45s, they're relatively primitive as far as the foil controls. But what we're seeing in the test and development boats that we get a really good look at in Bermuda, because there's 3 teams training there, Oracle Team USA, SoftBank Team Japan, and Artemis Racing, all testing their test boats there. We've also seen Ben Ainsley racing with their test boat out on the Solent. The trick is in the stuff that you can't see. It's in the shape of the foils, which is part of the design challenge, and it's really, really in the control systems to be able to finely adjust the foils and to manage the power that has to come from only 4 grinders for all of the hydraulic systems on the boats. So, yeah, things have taken a really big step up since the 2013 Cup.
Without taking anything away from the old monohulls, of course, but Jack, we could go on this forever, but we'll catch up with you next week after the races in Chicago, so we can do a real recap and see what the balance of power is going to be like.
Yeah, just one last thing about Chicago.
Sure.
No current like we had in the Hudson River, and the wind shadows from the buildings will be much less because Chicago's skyscrapers are much more spread out and further away from the racing area than we had in New York. But I'll be back next week and be glad to bring everybody up to date on what has happened in Chicago.
We can't wait. Jack, thanks a lot, and fair winds, and we'll catch up next week then.
Hey, we'll see you then, Jero.